Welcome back. This is the ENCA Corruption Scorecard. Rofhiwa Madzena is back to report on what you've been saying out there on our website in as far as this issue is concerned. We had options. Who was responsible for the collapse of SAA? What are you saying?
I want you to guess who you think the biggest culprit South Africa
Coleman Andrews.
Unfortunately not. So
it's not. Well, don't say
Andrews.
Unfortunately. I mean, we don't know. All right.
The evergreen contracts got
yes.
about 5%. The biggest culprit that's really got South Africans up in arms is an inept government. Got an overwhelming 60%. South Africans clearly believe that at the root of all of this is the fact that government has been inept. They have not been accountable or called people to account, and of course that's caused South Africans to be up in arms. So 60% incompetent managers. I thought that might get a little bit more to us. 25%. The unions, people do still believe in the power of the unions.
Listen, they've had some good managers, and they had to let them go because they just could not hold on to good managers.
That's true. Or some managers just walked away because they couldn't deal with that inept government. As a shareholder, the unions 10%, and as we've just mentioned, Coleman Andrews and the evergreen contracts only getting about 5%.
All right. Thank you for that, Rofhiwa Madzena, standing in there for Michael Marilia in as far as watching what we've been doing with the corruption scorecard. Lastly, before I go, let's talk about our champs and chumps, right? We want to celebrate those people who stand up in the fight against corruption and those people who continue to let us down. And so this week, there was, last week actually, Mosebenzi Zwane testifying at the State Capture Commission of Inquiry. You would think a minister, an MEC coming into office would take the time to familiarize themselves with all the relevant laws and legislation and prescripts and rules and regulations that govern their area of governance. This guy didn't even know that there was a National Housing Act almost a year into his tenure. And it had specific responsibilities that he was supposed to be fulfilling that he just didn't know about. All right, so let's listen to what he said in explaining his lack of knowledge about the act.
Sitting there,
having known that was legal to get into an ongoing tender, that is a time frame, and extend that time frame, I would of course ask that question.
You would have asked that question?
Yeah, I would have asked that question, but I didn't know the legalities.
Yes.
As I kept on asking them about legalities.
Yes.
So I was not sure about the legality of that question. That is why it did not even dawn to me to ask what I was not sure about myself.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, your leaders there. All right, let's celebrate someone who's worthy of celebrating. Didn't do anything this particular week, but her story relates to this week's topic, SAA. Cynthia Stemple is the kind of person that you want in your leadership. She was the treasurer at SAA at the time at which there was so much pressure to actually bypass all procedures and processes, and she stood her ground. The biggest story that you should look out is that she was on holiday somewhere in Europe when this deal was about to be done with this dodgy, organization, and basically she had to look for a place where she could connect to the Wi-Fi and basically send an SOS and send it to Treasury, people at Treasury, to say this is a whistleblowing WhatsApp message. Please intervene. This can't go through. So more people like Cynthia Stemple. And that is your corruption scorecard for this week. Take care.